Alright, so in this video, I'm going to talk about 5 tips to riding successfully and safely in the rain. What do you got to say about it? What's going on, YouTube? BK Low is back in the building. And this is actually a continuation from where we left off in my review video for the first MFG Cutlass jacket. And if you saw the end of that, it started to rain slightly, and then it turned into a slight rain into a very heavy rain, which we are still continuing to ride through now. So I figured, why not make the best of a situation like this and talk about 5 tips to riding successfully through the rain, whether it be planned or unplanned. So you guys know from watching my videos that I've ridden through plenty of rain. It's just a reality if you're doing motorcycle trips, like whether you're going to Sturgis or Canada or whatever you're doing. If you're doing motorcycle trips, at some point you are going to be riding in the rain. So what can we do to ensure our maximum safety so that we get home at some point, however wet we are? So here we go. Tip number 1 is acceptance, meaning whether you knew it was going to rain or it wasn't, it's raining. There's nothing you could do about it, so you just need to accept the situation rather than kicking yourself for going out today on your bike when the weather is so nasty, or, you know, thinking about other things you could be doing, or thinking about, you know, whatever. You just need to accept that you're in the situation, you're here now, and you're going to make the best of it. So your mindset needs to be one of acceptance and optimism. So now, once you've changed your mindset, and obviously, you know, even though you're wet and the weather's terrible and the hazards are increased, you're still on a motorcycle, and that's still pretty fun, even if the conditions are not ideal. Okay, so now that you've changed your mindset, you've accepted that this is the situation, the second tip to riding in the rain is following distance. Now, you should always keep a pretty good following distance, especially when you're on your bike, so that you can have time to handle things that are unexpected. But now when it's raining, your braking power is greatly decreased, especially if you have a passenger on the back like I do now. Now you're just playing double jeopardy. So you need to make sure that you maintain a ridiculously wide following distance. Like, it should be one that you're easily able to stop a couple feet before you see any brake lights or a pothole or anything. So seriously, guys, keep a good following distance. Don't play around with that. It's not the time to make time or weave in and out of cars. This is the time for you to just keep your bike under control. Okay, so now that you've maintained a good following distance, tip number 3 is the best thing I've found for riding in the rain. And I've ridden in all types of different helmets. I've ridden in my early years of riding in a half helmet, with goggles, with glasses, all types of different things. The best helmet setup I've found for riding in the rain is a full face helmet with a Pinlock installed, slightly cracked at the bottom. With that, you're gonna be good even in the heaviest rain, because it's going to not allow the helmet to fog up. If you're wearing goggles that are airtight, best believe you are going to not only be getting fog, but also after a while you will start to get water that will pool up in your goggles, depending on how heavy the rain is. So if you plan on really getting out there and riding, I highly suggest you invest in either a full face helmet, or if you're on a bike that has like a good enough windshield, then you could probably get away with not rocking a full face if you have the wind protection. It'll create that bubble if you're doing the right speed where the rain's not gonna, you know, affect your vision. Alright, so thing number 4. This is to recognize that there are things on the road that will suddenly be more hazardous than when they would be if they weren't wet. So a main thing that I'm talking about, especially in New York City, is once it starts to rain, especially that first hour, manhole covers become extremely dangerous. Basically, anything that is a flat metal surface, you want to proceed with extreme caution. I'm talking about like if they're doing construction, sometimes they lay out those the flat surface of metal to like protect whatever they're doing. So stuff like that, if you go over that on a bike and it's wet, it's basically like riding over an oil slick. In fact, my dad had a buddy who wiped out really hard because he went over a manhole cover while it was wet. So like one of the first things he taught me just from seeing that firsthand is, you know, you gotta watch out for stuff like that if it's wet out. And of course there's the obvious things like leaves become really dangerous, you know, grass on the road. It's just really any normal hazards that you would pick out all of a sudden are raised exponentially in hazard level. So just be vigilant, keep a good following distance, and be aware of what you're riding over. Alright, so thing number 5. And this one this one I get away with even though I don't have my rain gear on right now, is be visible. Meaning, invest in some really good LED lights so that people see you coming. Invest in some high-vis gear, like a Simpson Ghost Revolt. A helmet that looks good even if you're not going for the high-vis look. And as you know, my rain gear is like extremely loud, extremely high-vis, and that is for that reason. You know, visibility is down for everyone. It's not just riders. You know, cars can't see as well either. So you need to make sure that you are visible out there. Now, this is not an ideal situation. I did not know it was going to rain today, so obviously I'm not wearing my rain gear. But I do have a high-vis helmet on, so that helps out a little bit. And I do have LED headlights and signal lights, so that also helps out a little bit. So you want to make sure that you're seeing when the conditions are like this out here. Listen, don't let rain stop you from riding. Don't let it ruin your day if you're on a bike. It's gonna happen. It's a reality to riding a motorcycle. You can't plan every day around weather, especially if you live in some places where rain is more the norm, places like Seattle. At the end of the day, you just need to get out there and take whatever you're given. And sometimes that's a whole bunch of rain. So yeah, I hope this one was helpful. You know, stay safe out there. And above all, stay low. We're gonna enjoy the rest of our extremely wet ride out here. I'm enjoying my ride even though I'm wet, but I'd be lying if I said I can't wait to enjoy a good old hot cup of coffee when we're through with this. But until then, I am going to follow the BK Low 5 tips for riding in the rain. As always, thank you for watching, and BK Low is out.